Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember where the hell we are and how the hell we got here?
Yeah, we just got done reading Lamentations Chapter 4.
Sure as fuck did.
And in that chapter, it was pretty horrific.
It was disturbing.
They were talking about the famine and eating children and just all kinds of horrible shit.
The imagery was real.
Yeah, no, it was not good. And we got to the end of it, and it seems like they were like, yeah, you Edomites are laughing at us, but you're going to get yours. And so that was basically Lamentations Chapter 4, which means that today we're getting into
Lamentations Chapter 5.
Which ends Lamentations.
It does, and that'll be another book done, you guys.
I mean, wow. Like, it's crazy we come across these short books where we're just like, we're done in like no time.
And we get to mark it off.
Yeah.
Like a whole entire book. It counts.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to do this?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right. Here we are, jumping into the last chapter of Lamentations, chapter 5.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Remember.
I'm remembering.
Lord, what has happened to us? Look and see our disgrace. Okay, Lord?
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that caused it. Does he really have to look?
Hey, look, Lord, I'm ugly. Whee! I mean, it sounds like that's what they're saying.
I guess.
Hey, Lord, remember how we suck?
And you did all these bad things to us?
Remember?
Yeah.
Our inheritance has been turned over to strangers, our homes to foreigners. I thought their homes were burnt up and crushed.
I mean,
but okay.
It depends on which point they're talking about.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's true.
Sure.
We have become fatherless. Our mothers are widows. We must buy the water we drink. Our wood can be had only at a price.
No, we always buy the water we drink.
I know. I was just thinking that, like, that's interesting to think that, like, they used to just get their water.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It reminds me when my dad was in the military, we were stationed overseas in southern Italy. And when we lived off base, there was a fountain down at the end of the street. And we would just take our giant, like, receptacles, like giant tub things. Yeah. And we would
go get water.
Go get water. I mean, we had to boil it.
Yeah.
Like when we got home.
So you didn't have running water?
No, we had running water, but to drink it, like for drinking and cooking water.
Oh.
We would go get it from this giant fountain.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was like it had a faucet. Like it wasn't really a fountain. It was a giant freshwater fountain.
Got it.
That had a faucet on it.
All right.
But I remember one winter, this one guy that I went to school with, his name was Lewis. He turned the faucet to spray up and then he turned it on. And so it did freeze, like the water coming out of it froze in an arch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we all hated him a little bit that day.
Right.
But he was always doing shit like that. That was fun. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So they have to pay for water now.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like we do.
Right.
And they have to buy wood. Just like we do.
Yeah.
We must buy the water we drink. Our wood can be had only at a price. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are weary and find no rest. We submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread. Yeah.
I mean, when you get taken over, I guess, and you're running away, that's
when you're
what
a refugee.
You got to do that.
Yeah. You go get what you can get from who you can get it.
Right.
Yeah. Our ancestors sinned and are no more, and we bear their punishment. I mean, you were punished for their sins, but also for yours. Like, you did the Asherah poles too. Come on.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, if we're going with the you're being punished by God.
Right.
You did bad too. Come on. Don't be blaming Grandpa.
Right.
Slaves rule over us, and there is no one to free us from their hands. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword in the desert. The sword in the desert. That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that imagery.
Yeah.
Our skin is as hot as an oven, feverish from hunger. Women have been violated in Zion and virgins in the towns of Judah. That tracks. Men are gross.
Yeah.
Princes have been hung up by their hands. Elders are shown no respect. I mean, lack of respect is not the same as hung by your hands versus raped.
Right.
You know,
yeah. The no respect thing is kind of low on the list.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Were they mean to you?
Right. Yeah.
Aw. Well, as usual, you know, men are like,
could be worse.
But I'm the victim.
Yeah.
Young men toil at the millstones, but you weren't hung by your hands or raped.
Right.
So,
well, look, none of this is good.
None of this is good, but like when you're telling me the worst of the worst, then I'm like, oh, you got to live and work?
You can't compare those things.
Right.
Like,
you can't put them in the same paragraph as, doesn't this all suck?
Right.
I mean, some tortures are worse than others.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Boys stagger under loads of wood. The elders are gone from the city gate. The young men have stopped their music. They stopped playing their music.
Yeah.
I'm sorry at them.
Yeah.
Joy is gone from our hearts. Our dancing has turned to mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, for we have sinned. How about woe to you for either God turned against you or, you got taken
conquered.
over.
Yeah,
yep.
you got conquered by another people.
And it
who
sucks.
are not
I hate
treating
that
you
for
correctly,
you.
and they're being assholes at you. And it sucks for you. But this has nothing to do with God. If your God did have something to do with this, then you should have an issue with your God.
Saying woe to us for we have sinned, like, what kind of self-hatred do you have that you would blame yourself?
Right.
Instead of your God or the people that conquered you.
Yeah.
Like, no amount of sin deserves that. Sorry.
Right.
Because of this, our hearts are faint. Because of these things, our eyes grow dim for Mount Zion, which lies desolate with jackals prowling over it. You, Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation. Why do you always forget us? I pick me. I have the answer.
Right,
I know.
Right.
Why do you always forget us? Why do you forsake us so long? Restore us to yourself, Lord, that we may return, renew our days as of old, unless you have utterly rejected us and are angry with us beyond measure. The end.
Got it. Well, I think the only thing I really have to add to this is that I feel like the constant attributing of all this to their God, Yahweh, is that it's a way to hold their identity together as a people, right? Like, I mean, you're in other lands, you've been scattered to the winds, right? Mm-hmm. And this is the only way that you can hold on to some semblance of what you used to be. Okay. Is this God that is obviously not doing right by you at the moment, but it's still your God, and those people that are around you, that's their God too, right?
Yeah.
So it's their way to coalesce around an idea that embodies what Israel and Judah is, So
I could understand, like, let's all gather around and, collectively remember our God. I can't understand, we suck so fucking hard, we fucked up, and that we did this to ourselves. Like, that I can't understand.
Well, yeah, but that seems to be a constant theme throughout the Old Testament, right? I mean, this isn't the first time that we've run into that. There's constantly, when people are not having things go their way, they're constantly blaming themselves or higher ups in the priesthood or whatever the fuck the case is.
Right.
But they're constantly blaming the people for those bad things. So it's
taking self-responsibility all wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, be responsible for your actions, yes. And, mourn that you fucked up and long to do better. But not like, it's so generic.
Right.
This, oh, we sinned, we're horrible people, we did rotten. Like, no, that's not what self-responsibility means. You're doing it wrong.
Right. I do have to say one more thing, and that's that my take on the Book of Lamentations is that it's crap.
Ooh, I agree with you on that. The first chapter started nice. I liked that poetry.
Yeah.
It was dark. It was well written.
But it's just a lot of self-hate. Like we just got done talking about. Like this is the whole book is just nothing but like they're angry that they didn't live up to their God standards, but their God's answer to that was to destroy them completely.
Right.
And utterly. You know, like it was an awful series of chapters. Like this was an awful book.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. But I mean, we do have our wrap up coming up probably tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be doing our, I guess, contradictions, right?
If there are any. Yeah.
If there are any. Yeah. So we've still got a little bit of talking left to do about this. We didn't do as much research in the middle of this book this time.
Because there was only 5 chapters.
Right. So we'll get into that over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I didn't love it. That's all.
Right. That's
Yeah.
I think that's consensus at least here.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, that was Lamentations Chapter 5.
And that was Lamentations as a whole.
And we will be back tomorrow with the
wrap up.
Yeah. You were trying to turn it into a
I know.
song.
I'm like, wrap up.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.